Hey, what's up, everybody? Steve Billington with Campfire Conversations podcast here. And tonight I have a great show for you. Going to have the legend Marty Hughes on here with me. Real quick before we get to the show, I just want to let you guys know this podcast is presented by Trash Panda Decals. If you're a kayak angler and you fish events or you just want to show off your brand, you need a tin tag from Trash Panda Decals. It's the best on the market. They're fantastic. Check them out at tintags.com. You can also find me on Facebook at Trash Panda Decals. So without further ado, we're going to get our friend Marty on here. Hey, Marty, welcome to the show.
Howdy.
It's weird to see you on that side of my screen.
Oh, yeah.
Normally when I'm on a podcast with you, it's yours and I'm on the other side.
Yeah, either way is fine.
How's it going tonight, man?
Great. Went fishing. Got some bass this morning, and then went and did my student teacher supervision, and then went out to eat with my wife. She was paying for it, so I went. And then and came home and rigged up. I rigged up 2 buzzbait rods.
Oh, is it buzzbait season over there already?
It is gonna happen like in about a week.
I've seen people catching them on topwater, but it's been like further south.
Mhm.
But like today, that wind is blowing like crazy, and I couldn't go fishing. But all I could think is this is chatterbait weather. But
Yeah,
I
it
didn't think
was.
about
Oh yeah,
topwater.
this morning I had an Evo tungsten on Z-Man, and I told you in the green room there, I literally caught 7 bass in about 6 minutes.
Yeah, that was crazy. Like, what did you say the times were again? Do you
Like
have them
8.
handy still?
Yeah, I can tell you. Yeah, 8. I went out. It was cold. It was like 43 degrees, and my first fish was at 8:30. I got on the water like at 8:25, I think. I don't know. And 8:30, then it was 8:30, 8:33, 8:34, 8:38, 8:39, 8:40, 8:42, 8:46, 8:55.
That's unreal.
That's the time that I took the picture on the
Yeah,
board, you know. But
I'm gonna be thinking about that when I'm at Lake of the Ozarks on the 21st over the course of like 8 hours or however long it is. When I've got 2 fish, I'm like, Marty knocked out more than a limit in a couple of minutes.
I just like the tugs. I just like to get them tugs, you know. And yeah, my favorite thing though is going to whatever lake I go to around here, and then you try to figure it out. Like this
Mhm.
morning, it was a textbook deal where the sun was shining on that shoreline and the wind was blowing out of the north, of course. And I just figured that's got to be the warmest spot in the lake. And the day before, the wind blew hard into there, and so the bluegills were all over in there, and so I figured, sure enough, them bass were there, and they were feeding like mad.
So when you look and you see the sun on the bank, because this is how it works for me, and I don't know what I'm doing. So I love the conversations with you because I always learn stuff. So
Huh.
if I go out in the morning and I've got sun on one bank and shade on another, I don't really tend to look at what the wind is doing. I'll just go fish where the sun is. Do
Mhm.
you find that that's the? Did you assume that was the warmest spot because the sun was on it, or is it a combination of like the sun and the way the wind's going?
That's a good question because it depends. For instance, so like I looked at the day before, it blew really, really hard into that shoreline there yesterday. Well, they're not going to move that fast, but at the same time, that sun on that particular lake, the sun was just beaming on that shoreline, and
Hmm.
I just figured they had to be there. And then what I did after that is I went to where the wind was blowing on the south timberline, and they were on the back side of it, and I pulled 3 out of there. And so there's a combination of things. So you have I look at the wind basically first.
Okay.
Where's it blowing into? Now, if you've got a really large lake and you got a big protected cove that's warm out of the north wind, there's going to be big fish in there. But
I never thought to look at what the wind was doing the day before. I usually
oh yeah,
get to the lake and then I just kind of look around, see what the wind's doing. I never thought about looking at the day before.
oh, I mean it stirs up stuff because you can look on your sonar, it's just really like there's a lot of debris in your screen.
Yep.
All that's that churning up of that water, plankton, and everything else in there, and then the fish. Like I look for little blobs in there when I'm scanning across, and sometimes I don't have sonar, but most time now I do with that Striker 4. But if the wind, so what I like yesterday, I went to where the wind was wind was blowing out of the west yesterday, so I went to a point it was on the east side,
Hmm.
and they were just crappie were just loaded up there, and so I caught 61 crappie, I think, and then what I did is I dead sticked a thick stick and a Nico rig, and sure enough, there the back I had a line screamer take my line, and I didn't get him, but I did get a couple 16s in there stuff, but wind, sun, the northern shorelines are usually the best this time of year because the sun's shining on those, but we're like, it's going to get warm here pretty quick, so.
So when you see a bank like that or a point that's got all those crappie on it,
Mhm,
do you assume that there's just bass in there with the crappie? Because a lot of the time, I maybe it's just because I get tired of catching the crappie, and I
mhm,
feel like the bass aren't there because the crappie aren't there. But in
mhm,
the green room, you made the comment that today you saw you cast up on that shoreline and you
mhm,
saw a bunch of bluegill scatter, and when you
mhm,
saw that, you're like, oh, they're there. And that made sense to me because when I think of bluegill, I think of, well, bass are going to go eat the bluegill. I don't
mhm.
necessarily correlate that with crappie, I guess.
Well, oh yeah, they eat crappie, but the lake, it depends the lake you're on, because if it's a shad lake, they're all feeding on the shad, at some point. But
Right.
lakes that I've been on in southeast Nebraska, there's no shad and there's crappie and bluegill, and I guarantee you them bass just eat them like they're snacks.
Hmm.
But the bass are laying low. I just go across and they're laying on the bottom, or they're floaters, out there. And I could probably live scope them, but I don't. I like the suspense, on this. So anyway, and then the other thing is I look for toilet flushes, and so that's like where like
I
the
was going to say,
water,
what's a toilet flush?
or like when you flush your toilet, the water just churns. So a bass
Oh,
will
yeah, yeah,
come up
yeah.
and eat one of those crappie, because the crappie are like a foot or two below the surface in that sun, and then the bass will come up and get them. Well, no kidding, 2 times I had this past week I had toilet bowl flushes, and I casted the jackhammer past there and got them both.
See,
And
that's going to be something I end up watching now because, like, I never paid attention to dragonflies aside from the fact that they seem attracted to me and love to land on me in the kayak. And
yeah,
now, when I'm out, if I'm looking for where I'm going to throw something, if
yeah,
I see a bunch of dragonflies near a bank, I go straight for it. I
yeah.
can't like
Oh yeah,
unsee that.
yeah, yeah. They, in fact, it was so good yesterday that I had my little jig hanging about 6 inches in the water below my kayak, and I caught crappie that way. Like I was measuring one and taking a photo with one crappie, then I had another one on. Like it was nuts. Yeah.
Southwest Indiana Outdoors said, I hit the water today and the crappie were busting the surface the whole time. Oh, we're busting the surface the whole time I was out. Couldn't get anything to eat.
Oh, here's what you got to use, Southwest. I don't know who that is.
That's Chase.
Oh,
He's up
Chase.
in Indiana.
Chase.
Yep. Chase
So,
Carlock.
man, I would use a 1/32 ounce Z-Man Micro Shad Heads Z Black with a Baby Baller Z and Space Monkey, which is like a chartreuse. Oh my gosh. I
Space
literally
Monkey. That's a cool name.
Yeah, Space Monkey. And there's actually another a lure company has a Space Monkey color as well, but it's a whole different color than this. But the
Hmm.
Z-Man Space Monkey one is chartreuse, and I am not kidding you, man. I've caught, like, in the last week I've caught over 150 crappie,
Oh my
uh,
gosh.
and over, well, if you include bluegill, it's over 200 in the last week. And that's like taking 10 minutes out of the hour, because I would fish and get 10 because I wanted to get 10 an hour.
Hmm.
I'd fish for 10 minutes, and then the remaining part of the hour I would fish for bass. So I got all those fish only fishing 10 minutes an hour.
That's absolutely crazy.
Yeah.
Like, I look at the numbers of fish you catch, and it's just so much fun to watch. Like
Yeah.
last Saturday or whatever it was, you caught more than 150. Like I haven't caught a single bass this year, so I'm sitting at zero on the 2026 event. And then I saw your post and you're like 120 plus. And I'm just like, I didn't catch 120 plus the second half of last year.
Yeah, I just like them tugs, man. But I keep track too. I have you see my board right there?
I do.
That's my,
Yeah, you should show people that. That's really cool.
I make these.
I,
And that's,
I remember when you were coming up with the idea, we were talking about
yeah,
it,
yeah,
and it's even cooler than I thought it was going to be.
yeah. And I haven't really tried to sell them or anything, but maybe I will. I just don't
I
take
think
the
you
time.
should.
Yeah. But I've given them to a couple people. They like them, but
The only
huh?
the only problem with selling them is you're already so busy.
Well, I gotta hire some high school kid to do all this stuff. And,
I I was thinking about that earlier. I told somebody, I'm like, I don't know how Marty does it because I'm only 41, which I always feel like is old. People tell me it's not old, but like right now, depending on the day, I'm either getting up and working on orders for Trash Panda decals, and then going to my day job,
mm,
and then coming home and do it again, or I'm waking up and I'm just working on orders what feels like all day,
mm.
and I'm up late and doing other stuff. So like I'm burning the candle at all these ends, and I'm like, this is a part of my season. This is Marty's whole year. I was like, this doesn't even factor driving and teaching, and I don't know how you do it, man.
Yeah. Well, I mean, and I get up and I do a Bible study first, and then I work out every morning. And well, first thing I do is get a cup of coffee. My wife always makes. She gets it at 5. I usually get up at 5:30, 5:45. But uh, then work out, and then she asks me where I'm fishing, and I say I can't tell you. But I tell her where I'm going. But anyway, I tell her where I'm going, and then how long I'm gonna be, like a float plan, and then
Hmm.
and then I go fishing, and then like today I was gonna go fishing twice, but she said, "Do you want to go out to eat tonight?" And I said, "Oh, you're buying, okay." So anyway, we did that instead of me going back out again. But yeah, I use a little, like, that's my planner
Oh,
there.
I've seen your planner in person, and it made my head hurt.
Yeah,
It's incredibly organized, but my gosh.
but I still forget stuff. I don't know how, but I have so many different things. My days get broken up and all that. But this is actually the first March I've actually fished in Nebraska in like 4 or 5 years.
Oh,
Uh,
that's crazy.
I've missed, when the ice out hit, I missed it, and ice out's a perfect time. The fish will just move up real fast. And
Hmm.
so that's been a lot of fun just to go around all the area lakes. 'Cause usually I've been at the Bassmaster then, but I chose to not do them all last year because I had to get these teeth fixed, and I got 2 more to go. Uh, like all these appointments that I have, I got 2 more to go, and I
Hmm.
should be done in a couple weeks. So, um, but anyway, uh,
Do you find, so you mentioned ice melt. So like, do you find that once the ice goes away, like we get to that point right now, like we just had time change, there's a couple warm days. It's kind of been my theory that once that ice starts to melt and you get those first couple warm days, the bass are moving into spring. It doesn't matter if there's cold snaps, whatever, like they're on a calendar. And some people are like, well, they might, but then we're going to have these cold days here, and like almost like they're going to come spring, winter, spring, winter. And I personally feel like, at least in my area, once that first warm up happens, they're like, okay, spring. And you might get some cold days and stuff, but they're up. They're getting ready for beds. They're pre spawning. Like they know what day it is on the calendar and what the weather does. They don't seem to care.
well, what I've noticed, like the past couple weeks, and this usually is true, is like it got warm and the water got up to like 48 to 50 almost, and they were all over the edges, and I was getting them on the square bill. But when a cold snap hits, or like a big front, it seems like around here they go to the main points where all the crappie and bluegill are,
Hmm.
and they're down a little bit deeper. But as the day warms up, if it does, they'll move up on those points, and that's where I've been getting them. But it does slow them down a little bit. But once like it gets to 50-ish in there, it usually doesn't get below 45 after that.
Right.
That's, I mean, I just don't see it happening. But yeah,
Yeah,
they make
Lake of
money.
the Ozarks is in the 50s already. It's not going to come
Yeah,
back down.
yeah. I mean, I've already got 5 over 20 this year, right around where I live here.
Was
So,
that like on Nico, like a finesse, or is that moving baits?
I got. Let's see. I got. No, I got. Yeah, I got 3 of them on Nico and 2 on a square bill.
See, I have got to find the trick with the Nico because I know it's a phenomenal bait, but I swear when I try to use that thing, I get hung up more than anything else. And
Oh
I know
man,
it's me. It's not the Nico because it doesn't seem to matter if it's lake, river, what lake
yeah,
it is. I hang that thing up a lot. And you had told me that like the bluegill like to carry them into the rocks,
yeah,
which I didn't know either. I just thought I was dragging them into them.
yeah. Well, the key is, if you have that happen, just keep it moving a little bit. But I just throw like that, and it's in line. And I literally used one the other. I lost one the other day in a brush pile because I wanted to get a big bass out of there, and I knew one was in there. But I'd caught over 50 bass on the same one,
See,
and
that's
I
crazy because you
lost.
would think just looking at it that it would be fragile, but they
No,
take a
wow,
beating.
look at that, man! It's on the hook right now with that Snyder sleeve. It's
Is
not
that
going.
one of your sleeves?
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah, they're really good.
yeah. I call it Russ Snyder sleeve. It's there. You go. That's
Yeah, those are really good. I use them. Believe it or not, I use them with other presentations now too, just because they're just so good at making the worm
oh yeah.
last.
I use them on spinner baits on the eyelet. And then I'm going to show you though, here's something that people don't do. Wait, can I get that close? But I
Yeah, I can
don't,
see
a
it.
lot of guys hook it, like they hook the worm and they go halfway through the sleeve. You'll see here in a second.
That's what
I,
I do.
I skin hook the worm and barely go through the sleeve. And if you can, you see how,
Oh yeah, yeah,
you see that? And
yep,
so there's more of my barb showing. And believe it or not, it doesn't come off. Now, if it gets all tangled up or whatever, just go like this. Just break it and just start a new spot.
yeah.
But that's what this is, I mean, I'm serious. It catches about 2,000 bass a year for me.
It's a fish catching machine
Yeah.
that Nico rig.
Nico or Neko means cat in Japanese. Notice the shape of this is like a cat that's getting ready to, surprise something.
Huh.
That's why they call it that.
They have a really cool way of naming stuff over there.
Oh yeah, and then
Like there's always some kind of meaning to whatever they name something.
there's the head that I make right there. That's
Yes.
dragonfly. Here's a
Yeah, that's a good color.
show and tell here, but that's one of my heads there. We just sold out of I have a whole bunch made of the 1/16th, but I got another few thousand coming in because the orders keep coming in, man. It's like, but and then the other thing I've been catching them on is it's on this Fatty Z right now, but that is my Midwest finesse jig
Oh,
that
I
has
like
a
that.
3/0 hook, and I used the thick stick on that. Oh my gosh. I can tell you, they don't want me to tell, but there's some anglers that win a lot of checks with just this right here.
Oh, I believe it. That's one of the things I like the most about you that I don't see in bass fishing a lot anymore is you don't uh you don't really keep any of it close to the vest. You're like, here's what I use, here's how I use it.
Yeah.
You'll take it, teach somebody how to use it, and so many people are like, oh no, I can't show this. It's like my secret bait, and I mean, nothing in bass fishing is really a secret. And even
No.
if you know what somebody's throwing, you still got to go catch them.
Well, here's the deal on that. So, by the way, I teach and share as much, to especially new anglers, but I did have that under my in my hip pocket for about a year before I told anybody about it, and it was a really good year. Then and then I started using it with clients when I guided, and they started catching them. And then when I was in tournaments, see a guy struggle, and I just give them. I said, "You want to catch fish?" And, yeah, yeah, yeah. So I give them a Nico, and they catch them. And it. I'm going to say this, so you have to practice it. It's not something they're just going to go out there and throw
Right.
and catch fish. You have to practice it and figure out what the fish want. Um, but anyway, that I do try to. But here's the deal on the secret. even in the elites, nothing is a secret because they're on a camera all the time, and they do
That's
their
a good
best.
point.
Yeah, they
Yep.
they do their best to hide them, but, like I do the top baits articles for the kayak guys, and there's a top baits article guy for the boats, and do they tell us exactly what they're using? Maybe not, but most time they do. But here's the thing, the Koiki, the new Koiki that's taking the bass world by storm?
Is that the thing that looks like a cush ball from the dollar
Yeah,
store?
yeah, it's like a sea urchin.
It's
Well,
ridiculous, these
get this.
baits.
Do you know when that guy started the guy from Japan started using that? You know what year he started using that?
I bet it was several years ago.
2002.
Oh, wow.
Just now just now getting popular, and guys held it under their wraps. Like all those Japanese guys in those elite tournaments the last few years, they've been using it, but no one saw it. And so now it's out, and everybody's winning with it because it's something new and different. But I'm going to tell you though, this weekend, the elites, a Nico is going to come into play. You watch the top baits article; it's going to come into play.
Is that because you know somebody that's going to throw it, or just because you know it's going to catch fish?
Well, I know that the scopers are going to rule on that. On
Where are
down,
they at this week?
they're Tellico. I think it's called Tellico. They're on Tennessee River, and then the kayak guys are on Chickamauga, and I can't think of the other one. But anyway, and that's going to be won by a scoper too, I think.
I think
The
so.
only thing with Chickamauga is that there's so many trash fish in there, man, drum and stuff. It's hard to tell, but I will say that the minnow is going to win it. I really believe. The guy scoping with the minnow, but the Nico is going to come into play. There's some guys in there that throw the Nico really well,
See,
and
I went the opposite direction on. I was going to get scope. I knew I was getting the native Titan for this year, and I was like, well, I thought about getting like the Eagle Eye, like just an entry level scope or whatever. And I was pretty set on it. And then I was in the garage working on my bona fide RVR, and I realized that when I have my best days of fishing, it's almost always on a river. And when I'm on the rivers, I'm out there with no sonar, nothing.
mhm,
So I actually don't even have a graph on the Titan. Like I'm not running sonar at least
yeah,
for now. I might get a couple months in and be like, this I can't do it without it. But
mhm,
I feel like if I go no graph and just go fish, I'm gonna do better.
yeah. Well, I mean, a lot of times I've not brought any sonar, but I got that Garmin Striker 4. It's just like a little 4-inch screen,
Yep. I had that on
Uh,
my Outback. I liked it a lot.
but I'll tell you what, though, man, it has just helped me a lot because before I was just relying on knowing that a certain part of the lake might be warmer. But with that thing, 1 degree difference is huge. And so I go around and get the temperatures and stuff and look for the best places. And then it also helps me with the structure a little bit. And if I can see some bait or big blobs or whatever, that helps. But a lot of times, it's mainly that temperature and the structure
Hmm.
that I'm finding.
That
Um,
was all I ever looked at was temperature and how fast am I going on my way to my next spot.
oh yeah, yeah.
I
So
had I had the striker on my Outback though, and
mm,
anytime somebody asks for like what's a suggestion for a budget fish finder, it's always my answer. You
oh yeah,
can't beat it.
go to Eco Fishing Shop and get it. That's my plug. But I have 3 of those Naqua batteries, but one Naqua battery lasts about 4 trips. The bigger one, the smaller
Yep.
one, is about 2 days.
Yeah, I never charged it for like multiple trips. I had the same thing on mine. And now my buddy Christian has I want to say it's a Garmin 9 inch, and he's still running it off that same Naqua. I actually sold him the striker and that Naqua at the same time. And
Mm,
when he upgraded from the striker, he kept the Naqua, and I don't think he's charging it every trip either. He might be.
yeah. Yak
But
Bass says he's never thrown the Nico rig. Shame on you.
Chase said, I don't have interest in scoping currently, but I am interested in the 360 sonar. I think he's talking about that Humminbird 360, and it looks legit.
Yeah.
Like anytime I watch actual real life videos of people using it, I'm always amazed by the detail it pulls out.
Mhm.
But it's same problem. I think I would be happier with that kind of sonar or a live or something if I bought it and then paid someone to take me out for a day
Mhm.
where we weren't even necessarily fishing, just show me how to use it because I don't know what I'm looking at half the time when I look at a graph.
Yeah, I think with kayak fishing though, scoping is so much harder than a boat because you're moving so much and you can't keep your beam on stuff there. You know what I mean? Where in a
Hmm.
boat they can constantly do that. It's not going to move near as fast. So I don't I know there's guys that are winning using the scope a little bit, but it's not going to be. I don't think it's ever going to be a predominant factor. Except I think 360 can though. You know, but I don't know. I just think that we get to so many places that have big fish that boats can't get to. I think that that's a plus. You know.
Well, I think we're at a place like I know. I'm pretty sure they already have it in boats that walleye guys use it. So I assume kayaks could do it or will do it soon, where they have the live sonar and they find something and then they target lock it
Mm.
and the
Oh,
sonar just stays on it.
oh, I
So
see. Yeah,
in a kayak, if you were able to, it's almost like the movie Top Gun, where they
yeah,
acquire lock and then the missile follows them. Like
yeah.
if you could do that with a kayak, and then your motor and your live are just keeping you facing it,
Mhm.
I think that would help a ton. But
I
I
just
don't
like
know, man.
I like the suspense, though, man. I just love the suspense of catching a fish. Not that initial tug. Uh,
Yeah,
but
my
I
my
I
does
have
my go ahead.
I have used scope though. I have used it and I've caught fish with it, but it's not something I'm just so old school. I want to just go fishing and look around and like
Hmm.
look for toilet bowl flushes and dragonflies skimming across the top and you know
Well, and I wanted it because I was like, well, I'll just eliminate dead water and I'll use it for that. And
yeah
then
yeah
the only time I ever get a desire to eliminate dead water, the only time I worry about not catching something or overthink it is when I fish tournaments.
hmm
And tournaments aren't even my prime. Like I'm only fishing like three of them this year. I've got
hmm
one at Lake of the Ozarks in a week or two. I've
hmm
got one at Mark Twain Lake in April, and then I might not fish another event until the 250 in October. So
wow
yeah, I'm just getting back to fishing this year, and I think that live sonar would have sucked me down the rabbit hole of again just worrying so much about what was going on instead of just
yeah
going fishing.
I have fished 17 tournaments already this year.
Who's who said that? Oh, you or is it somebody
Me
else?
me
17 already. My
online.
gosh.
Well, no, I fished. Yeah, they were online, and a couple were live on live online or whatever. Like everybody's out at the same time. But I've already done 17 different ones this year.
What what's your fish count on the 2026 so far? Do you know?
175.
That's crazy.
Yeah. And I looked on the board today and there, Clayton Westgate, he made it last year. He's in Kansas, but I made it to ninth today, and the top seven are all from south of wherever. Wait, so
Yeah, that's usually how it goes this time of year on that event.
I'm ready for
Uh,
KAS. Oh, yeah, I'm fishing four of them.
which ones are you fishing?
I don't know. Uh, I know that I got four of them on the calendar, but I can't go to their championship because my son decided to schedule his wedding that weekend of the championship. I'm like, what are you thinking?
Oh, how dare him!
Yeah.
I
So,
when I we didn't plan the wedding around fishing. I will be very clear about that. My bride was very clear about that.
yeah.
However, the groom's party, once they knew what the date was going to be, they were real quick to get a hold of Josh Booth at Moyak and be like, "Hey, please don't schedule anything
Oh, wow.
this weekend." And he was quite accommodating.
Yeah. No, I don't dare say anything, especially my wife. She'd get all mad if I
Well,
said,
so that pulls me into like so I only wrote like a few questions, like a
okay.
general theme, because you have a lot of knowledge that can
All right.
go.
No, a
So,
lot. I just, I like, I have a lot of knowledge about school, maybe.
well, I'm getting married May 30th.
Oh yeah, I can give you some wisdom there.
Well, so it pulled me into thinking about. I was like, what do I bring into the marriage? Not what do I contribute, but what do I bring? Like, what are the things I do that are going to drive her crazy?
Okay.
And so my biggest thing is fishing, but luckily, like she knew well in advance what she was getting into. Like when we were having the conversation by text, where I basically said, we should stop messing around and just make this like an official boyfriend girlfriend thing. I was sitting in my Hobie Outback catching bluegill, so like she knew what she was getting into.
Oh yeah.
But so I wonder, because you travel and fish a lot,
Uh-huh.
so like is there anything that you do, like a specific thing you do before you leave and when you get back? Like I heard somebody say that before they leave, they cook like 7 days worth of meals that all their wife has to do is heat up for her and the kids. And then another guy was like, when I get home, I never sleep in. Like that morning, I'm up early, I take care of the kids. People seem to have these things and they come and go. It's like, do you have something that you do that helps you keep from making your wife crazy when you leave or come back?
Well, I gotta go. I gotta say one thing that I don't do is load the dishwasher because I always get it wrong, and I don't empty it either unless it's like a little things or whatever. But I don't empty it because here's the deal: have you seen our tackle boxes, people?
Yeah.
Nothing's ever in order, and so when I
No,
pick up
no,
my
it's not.
dishwasher, it's all over the place. And she's like, "No, this goes here, and this goes here." I should have her fill my tackle boxes because everything would be perfect. But that's the one thing that I don't do is the dishwasher thing, but I'll help rinse them off and stuff, like but no, for that, I mean, I pray with her and kiss her goodbye and see ya. And then when I get back, I mow the lawn because it's long. In fact, our conversations on the phone are, "Hey, Diane, how's the lawn? Is it getting long?" You know,
Tell
and
you,
she'll always say, "I don't know. I don't know."
John, I did not propose to Kelly over a text message. We went out on our first date. We hung out a couple times, and then we were not like an official boyfriend girlfriend thing. And I'm old school, so I told her in a text message something to the extent of we should stop farting around
Yeah.
and make this like an official thing. But I,
Well,
I did not propose over text.
that's pretty cool. Yeah, I do wanna say, though, that my wife is so busy too that, she's not home. I mean, I'm basically a crock pot husband most of the time 'cause,
That's how I feel. Kelly's always busier than I am,
yeah,
and her job is way more demanding. And she
yeah.
doesn't cook. Like I'm the cook in the
Oh,
relationship.
yeah?
So when she tells people that she's the husband,
Huh,
I just laugh. But there's some reality to that. Like
yeah. No, my wife, she cook man, she loves to cook, so, I'm not gonna argue, and, she
no,
likes to cook, and then I very rarely I mean, I make my own meals a lot of times 'cause she's gone, a lot, but, 'cause she's gone from 7 until, like, 8 or 8:30 at night, sometimes 9 on the weekdays.
oh wow, that's a good time for you to go fishing then.
Oh, yeah, does she doesn't miss me, I mean, she's
Yeah.
home.
When you guys got to get where did when you
Uh,
guys got together, were you already kayak fishing? Like, did you bring that
no,
in with you?
no, I fished a little bit then, but mostly ran. I was mostly running at that point, and playing softball and basketball and all that stuff, but, I did fish a little bit, but no, probably, right when we moved to Binkelman, probably in our 5th year of our marriage, and then I reason why I did it was just go exercise, but, then I started getting into it, and then I started taking our kids. So, I took the kids out all the time, and so she could, and sometimes she'd come out, but, most of the time I was fishing with the kids, out there playing in the kayaks and stuff.
Yeah, that was advice somebody gave me because we'll end up having at least one more kid. Kelly wants a kid, which is great. And
Yeah,
somebody told me they're like, listen, when you did the parent thing the first time, you
yeah,
had to do it by yourself. Like when you do it the second time, make sure you take the kid with you whenever you can
yeah,
because
yeah,
it really
here's
helps.
that's a cherished moment right there,
That's a great picture.
Yeah, and, we spent there's a lot of pictures up here of us together. Here's another one I love. We would go on these missions to go catch species, and we did species contests and stuff, and he was always proud to catch a fish. We call his nickname was the Gilzilla Hunter, and,
Well, I'm getting to a point where I can start to appreciate stuff like that more and more because, you
yeah,
know, it was a point where it was just me and Kira. She used to go fishing with me all the time. And then she got her own kayak. and she started doing that with me.
Mhm.
And then there was all of a sudden there was a trip that was like the last time it happened, and you don't know it's the last time.
Mhm. Mhm.
And now she's at the age where she wants to hang out with boys and stuff. She says she doesn't, but
Yeah.
it's not dad's not as cool as he used to be.
Yeah, it's like here's one that we did it says recycled fish on there. That's my old rig. I still got it. And what we did is we fished a 24-hour tournament. You had to catch as many fish as you could, and we won it. It was a nationwide tournament, and we got a guided trip with Brian Snowden on Table Rock Lake and his boat. He was a pro. He was like one of the top 10 in the world then.
That's
And
pretty.
then yeah, and they gave us $1,000, and so my wife, we all got to go to Branson and have a nice little vacation.
Yeah, see, fishing, you brought it in like the fifth year of the marriage, but the obsession has really worked out
Yeah.
in your favor,
Oh
and,
yeah,
and
yeah.
that
I'm
helps a
I'm beyond
ton.
obsessed. But it's like the movie Forrest. Is it what is it called? Forrest Gump? Is that it?
The one with Jenny and the shrimping boat.
The Bubble Gump shrimp. I'm like
Yeah,
Bubble Gump shrimp, but with a kayak fishing.
Yak Bass said I worked on Table Rock Lake today. What were you working on
Wow,
out there? I've actually never been to Table Rock.
you haven't?
No, something always every time that the trail is going there, something comes up, and I don't suggest couple getaways where one
Mhm,
of the primary things is fishing. So I just haven't taken a run out there.
mhm.
It's a pretty big commitment. I think it take me longer to get to Table Rock than it would take me to get to you. I think
Oh
it's like
yeah, that's a long
six
ways for
six or
you.
a half hours. Yeah,
Yeah,
it's a pretty good haul.
I actually won a Moyak event on there back in the day, 2019, I think. It
Oh,
was
no kidding.
it was during COVID, and Chad Hoover was there because we had a KBF. We had a KBF that same weekend, and I won them both. I won the KBF and that, and on day one, on day two, I got last.
That was pretty cool to have KBF and Moyak there at the same
Yeah,
time.
it was. We all stayed at this one. It was like it was like a Airbnb. I was Airbnb or what? I remember Joshua Booth was there. Chad was. We had a good time, but we couldn't have the award ceremony. So Nate Glory and I went to this hangout, this bar or whatever, and hung outside because it was so smoky inside. We hung outside and got a phone call and said, "Hey, you won." And,
Yeah,
and
that whole couldn't get together thing, it was so wild. Like, I
yeah,
think the craziest thing I saw during COVID is I went to go fish at a river that I like, and there's a dam nearby, and it's operated by the Corps, and like I didn't think anything of it. I drove down there, and when I turned in, the gates were closed, and there
huh,
was a sign on there, and it said fishing access closed due to COVID. And I
huh,
was like, we're closing the outdoors now. So, I mean, I parked out, walked right around the gates, and I went fishing, which is not what you're supposed to do. But
wow.
at that point in COVID, I was so fed up. I'm like, you can't go anywhere. I'm like, if I can't go outside, I don't know what to tell you. Like, I got to go fishing.
Yeah, I was going nuts that time. Yeah, I get it.
Yeah, it was
So,
craziness.
all right.
So, what? All right. So, like, when I started kayak fishing, it was 1992,
Wow.
which seems like a lifetime ago. But what year was it when you started? Because I don't think I know. There's like a few people I know that have been doing it for like forever, which is like you,
Uh-huh.
D. Um, God help me, I can't remember his name from out in California.
Jim
You had
Salmon,
a
Spike.
Spike. That's who I was thinking of.
Yeah.
There's a couple of you that were doing it way back when, and I mean, I had no clue. I was just a kid out fishing.
Yeah. I just 1997 or 98 that school year. It was I didn't know anybody else did it. I just went out. I was just paddling a kayak and just brought my pole with me one day. It wasn't like
Yeah,
I never saw anybody kayak fishing. And then I after I tried it, then I got on the internet and looked around, and that's how I found Dennis Spike and Jim Salmons and Chad Hoover, D. Kaminsky, Slow Ride Thompson down there in Texas, and then I met a guy from Florida uh, that had a kayak shop, and he had a Wilderness 135 ride for sale, and I bought it for $1,000.
see, I
And
wish I would have thought, like, I was all over the internet at that age. Like, I
mhm,
can remember like when eBay became a thing, and it was like an interesting age of like the internet went from like these text only message boards to something else overnight, but it
Yeah.
never even occurred to me to look for people that were kayak fishing.
Yeah, actually, I was one of the first 5,000 people on eBay. Did you know that?
That's pretty cool.
It started out with Pez containers, and then they went to trade. See, I was a big trading card guy, collected sports cards and stuff, and so I
Hmm.
would sell them on there and buy them on there, and it would take like 15 minutes to load one back then because it was all that dial-up stuff. But
Yeah.
anyway, that's where I bought my first kayak was on eBay, and it was like $265 on
See,
eBay.
you were doing way better stuff with the internet at that same time than I
Well,
was. Cause like
Well,
I ended up,
I had a wholesale business back then. I had a store. I owned a
oh,
store
that helps.
called Instant Replay Sports, and we sold our sports cards there and all kinds of sports equipment and stuff. I had it downtown McCook, and it was doing pretty good. And so eBay was a place where I could either buy or sell things as
Hmm.
well. And then when we moved, we closed the store down for 4 years, and then we ran two warehouses in where I lived in Binkelman, and we sold online through companies there, and most of our stuff was snowboarding stuff that we sold.
No kidding.
Yeah, I
I would
sold
have,
used. Yeah, I sold used snowboards.
how, I wonder, I never really stopped and thought about it, but I wonder how long eBay was around before they sold the first car on it. Couldn't have been that long because I feel like eBay blew up like overnight.
Yeah, I sold. Get this, I sold an Israeli Galil. That's a machine gun type thing.
Yeah.
I sold one of those on eBay, and I put it in a cardboard box and shipped it and wrote golf clubs on the box.
That's awesome. See, my introduction to eBay was I played a lot of online video games as a kid.
Yeah,
So like instead of looking for other kayak anglers, I was meeting these weird people playing video games. And there were dudes out there, like a lot of them, who would pay for people's used socks. So, but back then, like PayPal wasn't even quite a thing yet.
yeah.
And so like there wasn't a way to like send direct money. So you'd go list your used socks on eBay and
Mhm.
then send the links to these people and then they go buy them. It was a weird
Oh
time to
yeah.
be on the internet.
I got one of the best deals ever that I ever did. I used to have this friend named what was his name? Ron, I think his name was. And then we would go around to thrift stores and we look for stuff. And we found a
Mhm.
pair of jeans in this gal. We go into this thrift store. This is no kidding, man. It's a great story. Went to this thrift store in Kansas, and this lady, we go, you got anything good in here today? And she goes, oh yeah, I got a pair of jeans in the back. I think they're going to be valuable. And so we went back there, and we'll give you a buck. So
Mhm.
we gave her $1 for them, and took them back. And my friend, he goes, hey, you know what these are? These are I think they were 1930 Lee bucklebacks, and they had one little hole in it. And the Japanese were buying them up then, and
Oh,
so
no kidding.
put it on eBay, and it was bringing up like 2 grand or whatever. And then a guy messaged me and said, hey, I will give you 2,500 cash if you'll meet me in Hayes, Kansas. And so I said, I'll do that. So
Yeah.
I went there and met him. He gave me 25 $100 bills, and I sold a pair of Lee buckleback jeans for that we bought for $1. And then get this, he turned around and sold them for 8 grand to a guy in Japan.
That is crazy. So since he was willing to offer 2,500, I assume he already had a line on like the
Yeah,
buyers and stuff over in
yeah,
Japan.
yeah. But I didn't have that. I mean, he had the connection. I didn't. But you know
Yeah.
what? We made $2,499.
Yeah, that's a heck of a profit margin.
So there's my great eBay story.
So was that wilderness you bought off eBay? Was that your first fishing kayak?
No, well, yeah, my first real fish. The other one was a sea otter, Old Town Sea Otter.
Was that the one that was like solid red that Walmart sold?
No, it was solid green, had a hole about that big in it. You get your hips in it, and my feet would fall asleep in it. It was not really wobbly. It was like I think it was 8 foot long. I think it was 8 foot long, and either 8 or 10. It was really small though. And then yeah, the Wilderness 135 was my my real. I got a picture of it somewhere here too, but my 135 ride was my first fishing kayak, and then I bought a Perception came out with it called the Perception Caster, and
Hmm.
that's a bomb, man. It was awesome. And then then I had companies starting to contact me and send me kayaks, and so I think I had a Malibu sent, two Malibus, no, one Malibu, an Ocean kayak got sent, Wilderness Systems got sent to us, and then Tom Strauss from Emotion Kayaks, he contacted me and said, "Hey, if I send you a kayak, would you take some pictures in it with you?" I said, "Sure." And so he
I mean,
sent
that's
me,
a heck of a deal.
yeah, yeah. In fact, well, like, yeah, here's an Emotion CJ's. This was like an elite kayak back then. That was an Emotion Pro Angler or something like that.
I
And
wonder if that's where Hobie got the name from.
yeah, it was a pro something anyway. Anyway, he sent me that, and I fished in that for a while. But Tom sent me all kinds of kayaks, and then he sold the company to Lifetime, and Lifetime he made me like his pro staff guy or whatever, you know. And then Emotion actually kept me on. I mean, Lifetime kept me on, and then I kind of just drifted away because they weren't going anywhere with their kayaks, and they were, just generic. And the
Hmm.
I bought a Kusa. I bought a Kusa, and
The
then
Koosas are nice.
oh yeah, and then Jackson started talking to me, and I got a couple Jacksons. That's where Christine, she got the Cuda that I had. That was her first real fishing kayak that she had. I mean, she had one before that, but nothing like that one. And so she got
I've never even heard of Malibu.
Malibu. Yeah, that was uh, I think they're California. I got the Malibu though was uh, I had the one where you could put the kid in the front of you and they'd sit and face you.
Oh,
And
that's interesting.
here, I got it right here. One second. I'm basically in my museum down here. Uh, it's
It's a life well lived.
yeah, here. I'll show you. Just a second. I'll give you guys a little tour right here. There you go. This is the history of kayak fishing for us
Oh my gosh, look at
all,
all that.
all the way around. Can you see it?
Yeah,
And that's just part of it. I mean, you can see there's my island excursions there,
that's
and
awesome.
there's more over there. Can you see it?
Yeah,
It's like a museum.
it really is. That's
Call it
pretty
the
cool.
Past Cave. Anyway, if you guys can see this, look at this. This is really old school. That's a
Oh yeah,
Malibu. And you see how he's facing me?
yeah.
We fished in that for I don't know a couple years. It was a big kayak, and I got that. That was given to us as well. So I really didn't buy after I bought the Wilderness and the Perception. I really never bought a kayak after that for a long time.
It's
And
kind of nice for casting that you're facing each other
yeah,
because
yeah.
you're always unless you've got the good spot and it's behind them.
No, I really didn't fish much. He fished. I just took him out. And even in those tournaments that we put on, like I was telling somebody here a couple weeks ago on the podcast, I started a tournament in 2004 and usually had a couple live ones a year and never fished them. I never fished until 2013 is my first tournament. And so I put them on for 9 years and never fished them.
Man, that's a real labor of love to do the tournament director thing.
Yeah, it wasn't even called a tournament director back then. It was just like I just organized events and people came to them, and we didn't have any drama or nothing. It was all good. I mean,
You have your doggy paddle coming up pretty soon, right?
yeah,
Or did it
May
just
23rd.
happen?
Yeah, May 23rd. Yeah, yeah. I
Yeah,
got
that's a cool
Party
one.
and Angels sponsors it and working on a paddle company, other paddle company, and then we have D Hooker and might have another kayak. I'm not sure yet, but
That's pretty cool.
yeah, it's a benefit for the Hearts United for Animals.
Yeah, it's because isn't that the deal? Like it's paddles only, and then you bring dog food as
Yeah,
your like
there's
entry
no
fee.
pedals either. It's just paddles. No
Yeah, see,
sonar.
I never realized that till I saw one of the
Yeah.
promo posts, and it was paddles only, and I think it specifically said not pedal. And I was like, man, I just got pedals so I could participate in these paddle only
Actually,
events.
I fished out of the Outback last year with no pedals in. I just paddled it around. No, or did I take my Kilroy? No, I took the Outback, but I fished the Kilroy, Jackson Kilroy, quite a bit too, and paddle it. But we had 27 in it last year, and I think we've got maybe more this year in it. I don't know. We'll see. But
It's always awesome when it can grow. Was last year the first year?
yeah, that was first year. Yeah,
Yeah, so I mean, it's always cool when it can grow year to year.
yeah. We
I
just
didn't
wanted,
realize last year was the first one.
yeah, we just wanted to do something for the Hearts United for Animals. to bring awareness, because they have a ranch about 4 miles north of town here, and they have about 200 and some odd dogs out there uh, that people can walk. I volunteer there and walk a
And
dog.
how huge for them to have like 20 plus bags of dog food walk in the door, you know?
Oh yeah, there was like a pickup load, man. And then one of the anglers gave him $1,000 check that day.
That's awesome. And I'm sure you get people that bring more than one bag too. Like
Oh
they
yeah,
know
there
why you're
was
doing
there
it.
was all kinds of treats, and yeah, it was pretty cool. But what they do with the donated food though, and the snacks, is they give it to the people that adopt a dog to take home to have right away.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah, because they have
Make it a
plenty.
lot easier to transition them home.
Yeah, because that saves them cost on that when they do that. So anyway, talking about dogs now.
So was it there was a trip I was so jealous of. Was it last year you went? I want to say it was called, was it Otter Lodge? Is that what it was called?
Sea Otter Lodge. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah. Was that what are those lakes called? Uh what are the lakes that are up there by the Boundary Waters? Is that where you were?
No, I was in the ocean.
Okay, I couldn't remember like
Yeah,
where. I just it
we were
looks so
off of
cool.
British Columbia.
See, I'm not good
Yeah,
at geography, so when
yeah,
I
which
saw
island?
British geography, I just assumed it was the Boundary
What's
Waters.
that island out there off British Columbia? There's an island out there.
Oh
And
God, you're asking the wrong person.
uh,
I don't know if
anyway,
I could point to British Columbia on a map. I just
but
know it's
it's
Canada.
it's south of Alaska and north of Seattle. I can tell you that.
Okay, I get the idea.
Yeah, and we were in the ocean, and there was islands all around there. It was beyond epic, just beyond epic.
Yeah,
It
and you
was,
had some great names and stuff there with you too. Like it seemed like it was just a great group of people that they put together.
yeah, it was. They did it to bring because this was the first lodge anywhere up there that was going to offer kayak fishing trips or kayak fishing rentals or whatever you want to call it, or guided.
I'm
Nobody
surprised
else.
that's the first time.
Yeah, they're the only ones that I know of that are doing that. And so what they did is they got a bunch of companies to help promote it and stuff. And so then they asked me to come up and just do some photo shoot stuff with them as well, and just kind of hang out. And so the food. Oh my gosh, yeah, we had like this world class chef that made all the food for us along with their family, and just it was a different world, whole different world.
Yeah, it's like being on a different planet. It looked
Yeah.
like.
Yeah, and it was Jurassic Park for fish. Some of the fish we caught looked like Jurassic Park stuff, you know?
Yeah, I see some of the stuff that like I watch like episodes of Meat Eater when they're up in Alaska and stuff.
Uh-huh.
They catch just some weird looking fish and
Yeah,
with no context at all. You would think you're looking at another planet.
yeah, yeah, it was, quite the deal. It was pretty fun, though. It was fun.
Is there a is there a dream trip that's like on your bucket list for fishing that you haven't got to do yet?
Yeah, Costa Rica.
I think is that where Robert Fields does all
Yeah,
that
yeah, I'd
stuff
like to go
at?
with him. In fact, I'd like to go with him. I
Yeah,
just
he like motherships them and stuff. He's got a good deal. He
mhm,
actually just posted something. I assume he's in Costa Rica, but I saw a post from him on like
mhm,
Instagram or Facebook where they've got all these rooftop tents on top of a metal platform and
mhm,
all their stuff under it, and they're off the grid for like a week or two. And
yeah.
that dude just has some really cool adventures.
Yeah, yeah, he's got it going. But I actually was a guy named Ralph Solano many years ago. I was going to go visit him, and I never did. And now I can't get a hold of him. But I have several outfitters that are always contacting me down there from down there. But I just don't know how safe it is. That's the only thing. You know, I don't want to get in any kind of trouble when I'm down there. But I want to go with somebody that I maybe know, like a Robert Field.
Yeah, somebody reputable and
Yeah.
stuff.
So yeah, that's my dream trip. I think right now, uh, the Caribbean. I went last December with my wife. That was kind of fun. But we've gone to Dominican Republic. That was fun too. And I've been to Susquehanna. That was an epic trip. But those New York big smallies up there, that'd be an epic trip too. And then the other epic, believe it or not, one of my most epic trips was on the Mississippi River way up north, way St. Cloud, Minnesota.
Oh, that's way up there.
Yeah, I mean, that. So imagine catching a big small and you got six other ones chasing it in as you bring it to kayak, and
That's crazy.
you got moving water there. It was kind of treacherous in a way, but just giant smallies in the river and just fun to catch. You
I've
know.
actually never fished the Mississippi. I have
Oh,
multiple places right here by me that I can access it
yeah,
um, pretty easily, in all honesty. But
yeah,
I don't know. I'm what I would call an incredibly experienced river kayak angler.
mhm,
But something about that river, it's like I want to go out kayak fishing on that river with somebody who has the experience of
mhm,
kayak fishing on the river. But
yeah,
most people don't, because most people look at it and they're like, I'm not going out there.
yeah,
And my comfort threshold, like if this is safe and this is sketchy, my comfort threshold is like way up here. Like for
mm.
the people listening in audio, it's way above the sketchy scale. And something
Yeah,
about that river just makes me so nervous. And
yeah,
every year I say I'm going to go do it in like an
yeah,
eddy or something like that, and I haven't done it yet. Maybe this is the year.
yeah. I mean, so I look at it, I just, and like right now I'm just kind of fishing local stuff, but and the kayak, the Kansas and Nebraska. I like fishing Nebraska ones because I just love Nebraska, and plan on doing I'm going to do that 10 down in Gunnersville. We go there in May after the All American, right after the All American. So that'll be
Yeah, I'm
fun.
going to miss the All American this year, unfortunately.
Hmm.
I didn't make the cutoff this year. I was
Oh,
slacking a little, and it's like I almost had to accept it because I won't make the cutoff for next year because I'm not fishing enough events. But I do love that lake, and that's such a great event.
yeah, it's fun.
Maybe I'll get franchise tagged one of these years
There you go.
by one of the clubs. Maybe they'll give me their freebie spot and be like, "Come on down."
There you go. Just catch all you can here. Everybody made it. Well, not I guess I guess if everybody said they were going to go, they wouldn't have. But I think we had 15 on that list that wanted to go. So that's
Okay.
on the catch all you can series.
Yeah, I didn't rank high enough on that one either. I don't think. I was,
You weren't
I want
there.
to say it was like 30 or something like that.
No, I'm talking about the live one we did here.
Oh. Yeah, no, I wasn't there for that one. I
But
got invited out to Kansas for to go fish an event at the strip pits, which I had never even heard of.
yeah, that's a
And
good one. Yeah.
well, and they invited me in the green room before the event, and I was like, "Oh, I wouldn't make it." I'm already fishing one in April. And then as they were talking about the event, I just kind of glanced up my calendar, like thinking maybe.
Yeah.
But theirs is on the same day as Mark Twain Lake, which is my
Oh,
local one,
yeah,
and
you want to do that. Yeah. I'm going to that.
yeah,
I'm going to that one, that Mind Land one. That'll be fun.
on the 11th of April.
I think so. Yeah.
Yeah, that should be a great event.
See, yeah, I'm going there.
That's going to be a good one. They said that there's like just countless strip pits that you can go
Mhm.
fish. And
Yeah.
that's pretty, whenever you can spread out the field like that, it's pretty cool.
Yeah.
Everybody's not on top of each other playing bumper boats.
Right. Right. So, what
I,
else?
you mentioned the Susky, man. That's one of my biggest regrets is that I was never a bass angler and I grew up right by the Susky. And
Man.
now I'm all the way over here in Missouri, obsessed with smallmouth fishing.
Yeah.
And I spent the first 19 years of my life right by the Susky.
Wow. Yeah, I've been there twice now, and that was epic. Really, really epic there.
I think next year that's on my list. I want to make it out to that.
Yeah, it's fun.
Well, we've been going for an hour, and normally I'd drag them out longer than that, but I feel like it was a pretty solid hour.
Oh yeah,
And I
yeah,
know you've had a long day, and I got a long day ahead of me still. So every week when I do them, it's like an hour 45, hour 30. And I'm like, man, I really need to try to get those to like an
yeah.
hour because I feel like you lose people if you go too long.
Oh yeah, that's fine. Yeah, I'm good, man. I can talk all night, but I can talk an hour.
I say I can too, and that's what gets me every time. And then
Yeah,
my daughter will already be in sleep when I get done, and so.
yeah, it's all
But
good.
man, I appreciate you coming on. I love
Yeah,
talking to you. I always learn stuff. I'm gonna be looking for toilet flushes now next time I'm out. I'm gonna be looking for
you see
crappie, and
one,
then
man. Just cast right past it, and Bring it
Looking
through.
for crappie and toilet flushes.
There you go. Or dad, doesn't matter.
Well, for everybody that was on tonight, I appreciate you guys being in the comment section. And if you're listening to this later on the audio version, don't forget to hit the like or follow button, whatever platform you're watching it on. Oh, Alex purrs.
To
I
be
need to
on,
reach out to Marty to be on the measuring board. You
what's
do.
that?
So Alex has a kayak podcast called The Measuring Board
Oh yeah.
over there with FNGO
Ah,
in Georgia. Really great show.
oh,
You two would have a great time on there for sure.
yeah. Tell him, give me a call, Alex, or message me. I'd be glad to help you out. Yeah.
That's awesome.
Measuring board's one of my favorite things, man. Get all day long.
Yours gets a lot of use.
Yeah. Yeah.
A lot more than mine do.
Yeah. I've got it down to where this is no kidding. Did you hear about this yet?
No.
So I was in a tournament down in Texas, East Texas, and Joshua Booth was the judge. And I caught a bass, and I can literally get them photographed, or catch them, photograph them, release them within about 8 seconds. And so I did that, and then I caught another one, and it was within a minute that I entered it. And so Josh texted me and says, "Hey man, you got two of the same fish." I said, "No, I don't. That's two different fish." He goes, "There's no way you caught that in a minute." So I showed him. Later, I showed him too, and he couldn't believe. At first, he didn't believe, but now he does because I mean, I can literally get two submitted within a minute.
If I was at TD, I'd be thinking the same thing. I'd be like, hold up.
I can see his point. I mean, but when you do it what I'm saying though is you do it so many times, it just becomes natural, like shooting a basketball. Just put them under, boom, 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 and back in the water.
Well, and I used to put them on the donkey leash or like let them chill in the net. And then you told me that you're like, I catch them, I board them, whatever. And so I started doing it, and I found that they cooperate so much more
Oh
when
yeah,
I don't give them time to like
yeah,
think about it. I
yeah,
think I'm giving them time to settle down, and all they're doing is saving up their energy to fight as soon as I put them on the board.
yeah. I mean,
So I've
a lot of times I
gotten
put
into
my,
that.
my hand on there, but like the other day, the crappie and the bluegill, I just laid them under, took the photo without the hand being under, and they
I'm
stayed.
always amazed when I see these guys that they're down at like the Bassmasters or whatever, and they'll catch like a 25-inch bass, and
Mhm.
it's just this massive football, and
Oh
in the
yeah,
photo there's no hand on it. And I'm
yeah,
like, I don't know, like those are some dudes who are comfortable with big
yeah,
fish,
yeah.
because I would be like, oh my god, I'm never going to
Well,
see a bass like this in my life. I better hold it.
yeah, but bigger fish sometimes will just lay there too. They don't move. The little ones are the ones that flap around more. The
You
big
think the
ones,
big ones have seen more hooks? They're just like, whatever,
they
photograph
don't.
me.
They usually don't move that much. But if they do move, they're going out of the boat.
And maybe taking something with
Yeah,
them.
they are. Yeah, yeah,
Like you look at some of those, you're like, man, if that thing hops off the board hard enough, it might knock you out.
yeah. A lot of times I go to the shore with a real big one if I'm close by, and I put my net on the left side, and then I'm very secure there with getting it. I take my time on those a lot of time, but I keep them in the water with my hand a little bit. But normally, 15, 16 inch fish, I just put on boom. I put on the board, camera's right here in my pocket, and I just flip it out, click, and it's in the water. And before they even knew what happened, they're back in the water.
They're like, you guys are never going to believe this.
Yeah, yeah. The fight takes longer than the photo.
That's crazy. Yeah, I don't have mine dialed down to 10 seconds yet for sure, but it definitely seems to help to just get them, take the hook out straight to the board. I
Yeah,
pause quick enough to like dunk the board in the water,
yeah.
get
Well,
it wet or whatever.
your Trash Panda shield thing, your identifier board saves me about 2 seconds
They are pretty handy.
because there's no card. I had to put the card on there, and then in the old days,
Yeah, and some of those, like you go to take the picture and then you realize that like the sleeve is clouded or it's not at a right angle, and
Yeah,
the tin tags just really take a lot of thought out of it. Just flip it up, take the
yeah,
photo.
yeah. So anyway, there's something to finish on for you.
Yeah, that's a good plug because I'm going to transition right into making more of them.
There you
That's
go.
where I'm going.
Yeah, I'm gonna work on rods and stuff here.
All right, Marty. I appreciate you coming on.
Yeah, man. Anytime, and hope to see you soon, man.
See you soon, brother.
All right.
All right,
See
see
ya.
ya.